So who are you and what is your particular rebel brilliance? And what do I mean by rebel brilliance? Well, this is a great term that recently came up for me, and I grasped onto it because it really spoke to the part of me that can't follow the norm. And I mean, you're never going to find somebody who is so far outside the box of norm. And okay, so let's talk about this. What lights you up when it comes to business, when it comes to spiritual beliefs, when it comes to whatever is your genius? What are you an absolute genius at? Now, this picture, this is my genius. This is one of my many geniuses, but this photography is one of my geniuses. It's part of why during my videos, I just have one of my pictures up, because it lights me up. It doesn't matter if it lights somebody else up. It's not about the content in your videos. It's not about your slogans and, your brochures or following what every other successful person has ever done. Because if it doesn't light you up, if it isn't simple, if it isn't easy, and oh my God, if it is not fun, run the fuck away. Your business will not succeed. It won't. If you are not doing what is your rebel brilliance. So recently, I think it was the previous video, two videos ago, I did an interview with Tama Keeps, and she is the biggest damn cheerleader and queen of the rebel visionaries. The visionaries who, because again, if you haven't listened to that podcast, listen to it, because here's this woman who had done everything right. She graduated the top of her class, Harvard University. She, with honors, she got a job in New York with a big ass law firm. She's making money. She's doing great. She's got the quote unquote, what you would think is the dream, but it wasn't. She was slowly dying inside, because there was a bigger calling for her. Being a lawyer wasn't her brilliance. Yes, she could do it. Yes, she could be good at it, but it wasn't her soul's calling. And so we have these souls calling. Yes, I'm good at photography. I love photography. When I'm out walking around, that, I'm doing it. If I see things, I love to take a picture of them. But do I want to make this my business? Do I want to frame these pictures and sell them? No. That's the minute I think of doing that, my joy just kind of withers like a flower drying up. And it's really important to see that. It's very important, because it's very possible there's somebody out there who wants to take my pictures, and it would be their joy to frame them and get them sold for me or whatever. But that's not mine. My joy is when I'm taking a picture of a butterfly, and for some fucking reason, the camera focuses in on the flowers in the background, and this is what comes out. And it's an accidental, pure perfection. I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't mean for that butterfly to be blurry, but I love it because it's so me. It's so out of the conventional norm, the way to do things. You can't use strategies that don't get you excited. So my biggest excitement is what I do in these videos, is what I do where I'm constantly encouraging people to own their own rebellious, visionary dreams. That's you. That's the real you. The you that's like, there's billions of ways to do a business, and none of them light me up. And here's all these billionaires selling this technique and that strategy and this way to do things, and this is the only way to do things, and look, I have all these successful people, so you must do it this way. And there's all these ways to do it, and you're like, no. It's kind of like writing a book. Tama Teeves, she wanted to be a writer. That was her soul's calling, to write. Hence, if you've ever read any of her books, they're wonderful because she's doing what she loves. She's following her brilliance. She's not following the way, she's not getting under a publisher and they're saying, oh, you got to change this and you got to change that, and you can't have purple print and you can't do this and that. She attracted to her somebody who's going to say, oh, this is perfect as it is. And they let her have it. That's what happens when you're following your joy. When you're following your joy, it's always a hell yes. If somebody got a hold of me and said, hey, we want you to be the keynote speaker for this or that, I'm a hell yes. Because when it talks about getting up on a stage, I'm a hell yes. I had a lady a couple months ago asked me to do a Seroptimus with a bunch of little, middle schoolers. And she wanted me to talk about nutrition. And I'm like, nope, not going to talk about, I've done that before. And yes, I give a very good nutrition talk, because when I get up on a stage, I'm not selling what I'm talking about. I'm selling KMFC, Chris and MF Clark. I'm not even, I don't want to say selling because it sounds like I'm trying to get somebody to buy something, but no, I'm presenting the joy, the happiness, the enthusiasm, the motherfucking passion, because I'm doing what I'm most passionate about, which is getting up and talking to people and talking to them about how powerful they already are, whether it's about sugar or whatever. That's what I do. But when this lady came to me and said, hey, we want you to talk about nutrition, I'm like, nope. I know I can give a good talk, but that's not my passion. You want me to come and do a talk for you? I'm going to talk about what I talk about, which is you are the motherfucking God of this reality. It's time to start owning it. What lights you up? Stop trying to fit your beautiful pink self into a green box. And what I mean by that is, in one of Tama's books, she says, purple people can't wear gray suits. Exactly. If you are a purple person, but you're trying to fit yourself into a gray box, the gray work stream, the way the gray people do their things, it's not going to happen. You're not going to have the success. You're not going to be joyful. You're not going to be going to bed at night with a great big ass smile on your face. You're not going to get out of bed eager and happy to start your day. It's just this, it's a slow death, man. So what is, I say it again, because this is where I started. What is your rebel brilliance? What is you that is just banging at the doors to be let fly free? And sometimes we don't know what it is. So many times people say to me, they say, so what is it you do? And I'm like, I do Chris and MF Clark. Because that's, if the minute somebody asks you, what do you do? And you're trying to find an answer and you can feel your brilliant, happy little flower just wilting away, walk away from that question. Just insert your name and walk away from the rest. And if they want to know what do you do? Then just say, for me, I'm like, go to my website and you'll find out. Go to my videos and you'll find out. And if they're not willing to do that, if the the conversation dies in that very moment, that's okay. I'm not going to try to fit myself into their box of a category that they can identify. They want me to say, oh, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm not a motherfucking motivational speaker. I'm not an inspirational speaker. I am so much bigger than that. When God, speaker sounds like, you're talking to a wall. It just, I'm not, it's kind of like this. When I'll always bring up Barbara Streisand, but when Barbara Streisand gets up on the stage, to say she's a singer is to not do it justice at all. If you've ever gone to, like for me, a long time ago, my son, I took my son to Heart, and this was probably about 10 years ago, to the concert of Heart, Barracuda, Heart. And now this is not their heyday, right? Their heyday was the 70s. So here's these women and their band much later in life, but holy fuck, they transcended age and all of that the minute the music started. So much so that my son even got swept up. Not because I mean, honestly, it was probably because I was so swept up. I was just dancing and singing at the top of my lungs with them. And it was so fan-fucking-tastic. So to say that, oh, Heart is a band, Heart is a, whatever, a group, a singing group, whatever, that just doesn't touch who they are. You can't call this Picasso, you can't say, oh, Picasso's an artist, a painter. No, that doesn't touch. And you can add words like, oh, master painter, master whatever, and yeah, we're getting a little closer, but they just are who they are. Barbara Streisand is Barbara Streisand. You don't need to say who she is because her name says it all. Her name encompasses the brilliance of the being that is Barbara Streisand. So my answer always, when people are saying, what do you do? I'm Kristen M.F. Clark. If you want to find out what that is, just listen to one of my videos and you'll get an idea. When I get up on a stage, I am strapping everybody into a roller coaster ride of crack your brain wide open into impossibility, into, I just had this. My friend Sanjala always says I break her brain. I was just like, I'm the brain breaker. That's what I am. That's what I do. I break brains. But into the miraculous, into magic, that's what I do. And I love that. And, you don't have to have a title, because you're going to find that a title you accept today is not going to be your title forever, because you are in a state of constant blossoming. Constant blossoming. You are a flower that never stops blossoming, never stops getting more and more brilliant, more and more radiant. So when I say the rebel brilliance or my rebel visionaries, that's what I mean. It's the people who cannot, will not, never will, never have fit inside a box. The box their parents want to fit them inside of, the box their coach wants to fit them inside of, the box their marketing, executive wants to fit them inside of. If your team cannot 100% fly along beside you, if they try to wrap ropes around you and drag you back down to this earth, let that person go. Let that therapist go. Let that doctor go. Let that best friend, let those family members go. It is not your job to bring them up to your brilliance. Your job is to jacuzzi in your brilliance, is to own your brilliance, is to sing your brilliance at the tops of your lungs, even if you are the only one singing that song, even if you get funny looks, because there's plenty of us out here who are going to cheer, who are going to raise our hands up so fucking high for you, who are going to yell at the tops of our lungs, go, baby, go. Yes, tell me more, do more, be more. Yes. So what is your motherfucking rebel brilliance? Write it below. Claim it to the universe. Do it right now while your juices are at the high boiling point. Tell me what is coming up. And if the only thing you can write down is your name, I'm going to cheer even louder for you. Absolutely adore you guys. Take care.